Alright, so this is Monster Hunter World. I thought I'd do something a little bit different and cover a newer game here. This is actually not a new series, of course. I've been playing Monster Hunter for, I guess, about over a decade now. But this game is rather different from its predecessors. I'm fighting, no, I think his name's Dodogama. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm fighting Dodogama and I'm using the Insect Glaive, which is a pretty cool weapon in my opinion. I'm not exactly comfortable with it yet, it's still new to me, and the setup that I have on is really bad. I tried to make like a paralyzed build, but I don't actually have a paralyzed weapon, so I had to take the bone rod, I think it's actually called the aerial rod, and use awakening on it, which is a skill which basically puts an element on something that generally doesn't have an element. Of course, if you're not familiar with Monster Hunter, that's all very confusing. But at any rate, the long and short of it is that I tried to put Paralyze on the weapon, and the way the skill works is that you're really not getting the full effect unless you have the skill fully powered up, and I do not. So we're not going to get very many Paralyzes in here. And there I go, fighting without full power as well. What you have to do is you have to send the bug out to hit different parts of the enemy and call it back to you, and it will collect what they call essence, which will give you different powers. The red gives you speed, the orange gives you, I guess, like defense or something. It's not really clear what it does exactly. The white gives you speed. I think I said the red gives you speed, didn't I? It's actually the white that gives you speed. The red increases your attack and your combos. And we cut his tail off and we did paralyze him there, so that was pretty cool. Those little flies you see flying around is dust, which comes from the bug itself when you put it into a certain attack room. And here I am getting an amount. So this is really a rather strange enemy, even for this series. I'm really not sure what he's supposed to be exactly. But he's easy. Like, there's a lot of things in this one. They're like, I call them entry-level monsters, because you get to different areas and there's different tiers. And it seems in this game there's always a monster that's pretty easy to beat with the equipment that you have available. Which is actually, I think, one of the things that they did better in this game than some of the previous titles, because you could often be stuck with like a trash weapon or something that can't really match the enemy you're fighting, and your first few battles would be really tough. It was something that was not unusual. Of course, I could be remembering all that poorly. The last Monster Hunter I played was Ultimate, which was, I think, about four or 5 years ago now. It was quite a while ago. Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate. That was a pretty good game though. I liked it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a new Monster Hunter. I had played Tri, and really Ultimate was just kind of like an expansion of Tri. But I did like it. It would just been nice to have gotten something like Monster Hunter 4 or something like that instead, which I haven't played yet. One mistake people often do with this weapon is that they will try to get aerial attacks like constantly. That's not too constructive, and I probably will do it a bit, but you've seen me pole vault with this thing. And you can land on the monster and mount it. Probably not the best choice of words that they picked there. But you can land on its back and stab it with a knife, and if you're lucky you can do a better combo on it if it gets tired enough. I'm not exactly sure how it works yet. So people often will spam the pole vault. I'm gonna get my ass whooped a little bit. they'll often spam the pole vault in an attempt to mount the monster, just do damage without taking damage. I'm not really sure exactly what the rationale is, but it's not the best thing to do with this weapon. You want to get your normal ground combos. And he's actually a lot like a few other enemies in this game, the Great Jagras and Great Gyros. He's really mostly another version of them. He's just fatter, I guess. Oh well, we paralyzed him again. And maybe the setup isn't as bad as I thought. I actually like the armor. That's the Great Gyros armor. It's pretty cool looking. I don't have the helmet set to show. You can hide your helmets, but you actually get like a Beak Doctor mask, which is pretty awesome. Of course, you have to sharpen this thing a whole lot. Now, I wanted to do like an online session with other players, but I'm finding it really hard to get good groups, or really get groups much at all. That's one thing that they changed for the worst in this game, in my opinion, is the matchmaking. I don't know, it's just very, I guess for lack of a better word, it's like mushy. There's not enough structure to it, in my opinion. I think they were trying to make it, what's the term they like to use, seamless. They were trying to make it that. Probably more like Dark Souls or some such thing. This isn't Dark Souls though, and it doesn't really work for Monster Hunter to use something that's similar to Dark Souls. You used to go into like this tavern type area and you'd have maybe 4 to 8 other players, and you guys would post quests and everyone would join up, and it was very rigid the way it worked, but it worked pretty well. And you could meet people, and you can get in with good groups of players and get a lot of quests done and just have a good time and, shoot the shit. Whatever. This version, maybe I'm just playing at the wrong times. I haven't really done it a lot anyway. But it doesn't really happen that way. So, I don't know. I'm going to say maybe I'm doing something wrong. That's very possible. In fact, with this video, like I'm still learning how the PlayStation 4's recording function works. So, the video kind of started after I had already begun fighting this thing, which is okay because there's a lot of setup. I also have to say I really like the areas. This is just one of them. This is kind of, I don't know, for some reason it reminds me of something like from Jules Verne or something like from that era where they had Journey to the Center of the Earth and things like that. These, strange crystalline underground structures and lava. Really cool stuff. It's better than the generic volcano that they've had you playing in most of the time. And the other games, or the desert or the snow area, although I would kind of wish there was a snow area in here. I haven't seen one yet. Of course, people might recognize Jay Leno over there, also known as Oregon. Now, I haven't fought him yet. Now, this thing's really weird. It like burrows into the crystal. And here I am bombing it. It's something I enjoy doing. There's one thing I'm kind of upset about. I'm not really upset, it's not really that deep. But I would have liked to have seen... you can actually make your own insect. That's another thing. It's a complicated system, but you can actually make them like you would a weapon. And they have different properties. I would have liked to have seen a sleep insect. Maybe there is one. Actually, I think I'm saying the wrong name. They're actually Kinsect. And I would have liked to seen one for the sleep status effect, because sleep bombing is a great strategy against certain enemies. Here I am getting my ass whooped. I think I was getting a little too eager to kill him at this point. And the bug I have on is actually a blast, or no, it's paralyzed, excuse me. I actually use a blast element, mostly. Although tonight I was playing online. And I tried using a healing element because the parties I was in were so bad that I thought, well, you know, maybe if there's some healing dust floating around, they won't die as much. That wasn't the case, though. It really didn't help anyone. I mean, it helped me. Because I think I took a bad hit here and there. And thought, oh, well, you know, I don't have to get a potion. I can just heal this shit by hitting the green fairy dust. That's another thing that I think's funny about this weapon is that one of the nicknames, at least on Reddit, they call them bug fairies. So that's pretty entertaining. There's even an armor in this game that looks like this weird kind of like brony costume, I guess. It kind of reminds me of Bob's Burgers episode. I wanted to get that. Yeah, so there, this thing dies, and you know, you carve it and all that. And for the record, I'm not a brony. That's I just thought it would be funny to have that and run around in it, because you basically have a horse head. You can also get a pig's head. I want to get that too. And that comes with actually a very good ability called Mushroom Mancer, which allows you to eat mushrooms and get special powers from them. And of course that actually does happen if you eat the right mushroom. Anyway, so we're going to go back to town, and I kind of look at the armor and stuff. I did kind of record this without me doing the voiceover. One, because I don't know how you do that on PlayStation 4 and if you can do that. And two, it's just easier to concentrate on playing the game without having to comment over it. So yeah, so here we get our rewards. Nothing really that amazing, actually. One thing I hope they have is you could mine. Well, you can still mine in this game. But you could mine, in certain areas you could mine and get, like, hidden weapons and stuff. And they had, like, this cool gun that looked like a flintlock rifle. I want to get that because I actually used to run around using it. It wasn't the best weapon. But if you use the right ammos and stuff with it and you're decent at using a gun in the first place, you could do some fun stuff with it. So hopefully that's in the game. I haven't been able to confirm that, and I'm thinking they might have taken those out because they were kind of hard to get. You had to do a lot of mining.
I think we have enough data on Nergigante now. Want to report to ecological?
And especially if you want to collect them. I don't think I ever found all the items like that. I forget what they were called. Like, I think they were called like rust weapons or artifact weapons or something. Of course, we have the Fleet Master here, who's your stereotypical blacksmith, I guess. Eye patch and all. So yeah, there's the Beak Doctor helmet, which is pretty cool. I think they should have made him more Beak Doctor-ish. It's not quite right. It's probably the hat. It's not really like round-brimmed enough, I think. So yeah, this has some pretty good stuff. I do use Blast, so I'm probably going to end up getting this one. Also probably be a good gun lance armor, actually. And I used to do gun lancing, so might pick the gun lance up again someday. Who knows? I was actually thinking of making a lance, because that was what I used to use a long time ago. That and guns. But we're talking like 10 years ago now. Probably going to make that weapon too. I think that actually has a blast effect on it. Yeah, you don't even have to unlock it, which is sweet. So coupled with the armor and the dust, like I'd probably be blasting ass all over the place. So yeah, that's about it for this episode. There's really not much else to say about this fight. I'll probably do a few others and, you know, just make them like this. It won't be like the Let's Plays that I generally do. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I will be back with more. Until next time, good luck and happy gaming.